boy Lieutenant Dan here with another Falcons film breakdown. Today I'm going to be breaking down a couple of the Falcons defensive plays, and then by the time this video is done, uploaded, and is released, I will have an offensive video for you guys in the works. So please stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys come to the live show. Before we really get started, like, share, subscribe, comment in the comments section. Definitely go hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of all the new content that we have here on Unintentional Grounding. Definitely go check us out, UNGR_show on Twitter and on Instagram, and check out our Facebook page, Unintentional Grounding, the Falcons Nest, where we talk about Atlanta Falcons football and some of the out-of-the-box ideas that could happen. We're very genuinely open. So with all of that being said, oh, and definitely go check out the website too, www.ungrshow.com, for articles from actually some of our grounders. Our grounders actually started writing some articles. So definitely a big shout out to D-Pat and the Vanilla Falcon Strike. Both of those guys are killer. Okay, so let's break this film down. I think it's important to understand that the Atlanta Falcons are riddled with injuries at the time of this video being made. And because of that, the Atlanta Falcons have had to do some very creative things. This is a 4-2-5 look from the Atlanta Falcons. Man-to-man across the board except for the single high safety. Two linebackers. And this was the most interesting look that I had seen all game. And was actually the look that could have won the Atlanta Falcons this game. Bengals fans, don't get salty. But the way the injuries have gone, as of this point, as of making of this video, have limited the Atlanta Falcons to playing only particular formations in nickel 4-2-5, base 4-2-5, and 43 over and under looks with a different set of personnel. So the whole point of 4-2-5 defense is to make offenses throw for vertical routes, to try to hit the middle of the field. So everything goes as far down the field as possible and try to get running backs or tight ends open over the middle. That is how you combat a 4-2-5, but a 4-2-5 is trying to limit you to throwing the ball and making deep throws your priority. It's also meant to be able to take away the short routes. When you're low on linebackers and you only have two good linebackers or two good linebackers and a few backups, you are playing a 4-2-5 because that gives you more speed, more coverage ability, and so on and so forth. So I'm sorry that was a long explanation, but I kind of wanted to tell you why this is the reason why some of these plays are going to be in 4-2-5 formation for most of the video. You're going to see a lot of 4-2-5. So Takk McKinley, Vic Beasley at the top of your screen. Tack's playing defensive tackle. Or really, he's playing a 5-tech defensive end, and then there's a 6-tech defensive end on the other side. So this is a very unique look. I really, really like this look. This also has Grady Jarrett playing defensive end and Jack Crawford on the outside playing defensive end. So this is a very interesting look. I guess you could say both of these guys are almost 3-tech tackles on the inside, but let's watch Takk McKinley at the top of the screen with Vic Beasley. And what's going to happen is he's going to follow Takk McKinley through this, but Takk McKinley's bull rush is way too much for this guard. Way too much for this guard. They were not expecting this. Even though when you have a guy right in front of you and this is the guy that you're supposed to be blocking, when the center doesn't do anything for you and then you cut Vic Beasley up the middle too, and Takk McKinley just absolutely gets you with a bull rush, it's difficult. It's difficult to block. And now from this angle, you can see it even more clearly. You have Crawford over on the left-hand side, Grady Jarrett. Crawford's going to do a direct attack on number 77. He's going to try to kind of take the outside contain. And then Grady Jarrett is going to go up against number 65. The center is not going to do anything. He's waiting for a delayed blitz from either Devondre Campbell or Duke Riley, which never comes. And then on the right-hand side, you have Vic Beasley and Takk McKinley, which is the scariest setup that the Atlanta Falcons can put on the field at the same time on the same edge, which I thought was just pure fun at this point. It's gadget at this point. But Watch Takk McKinley in the middle here. Vic Beasley's going to follow him, but Takk McKinley just absolutely bull rushes, gets underneath the right arm of the guard, and pushes through this. And I thought it was really interesting to think about how Takk McKinley was picked up because of his athleticism. Because Dan Quinn was looking for a Leo. And everybody says that Vic Beasley is the Leo in this defense. That is not true. Takk is also a Leo. So when you look at this play and you stop it right about here, Vic Beasley begins his stunt towards the inside. And what this play is supposed to do is Vic is going to cut to the inside, and all he'll have to contend with is the center, because 68 and 72 are supposed to kind of clamp down, or 62 are supposed to clamp down here. But what happens is the center draws over to Grady Jarrett, and the tackle is just staring at Vic Beasley like, oh. Meanwhile, Takk has already gotten his right arm up underneath the right arm of the guard. He's already bull rushed through, and now he's just dragging a guy towards Andy Dalton to get this sack. So this is a play-action rollout that's going to happen for the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're going to have Vic Beasley come completely free and bat this pass down from Andy Dalton. There's not a heck load to break down here. Once they go into play action and roll back out the other way, Andy Dalton just has nowhere to throw this. Vic goes completely uncovered. And this is probably the best view that you're going to get. Just not a lot that the Bengals did there to stop Vic from coming through. And again, from this angle, what you would like to see is 83 do maybe a little bit of a better job getting in front of Vic Beasley and chipping him. You need to not have a free rusher like this coming through. And this was one of Vic's best plays of the day, was getting in front of Andy and knocking this down. But again, if 83 here, the wide receiver, I think that's Boyd, gets a better chip on Vic, they might actually get a pass off here. But good job by Vic Beasley. So now let's take a look at Takk McKinley at the top of your screen there. I'm going to mark them for you. Some of these film breakdowns, I'll have some marks on people, some I won't. It's just so that it's clarified where a guy is and where a guy isn't. But here's another 4-5-2 look. This is basically man-to-man. One of the linebackers is playing a little zone in the middle. This might be called cover one, with a single high and then a zone guy in the middle, or two zone guys near the middle. So Takk McKinley at the top of the screen here is going to get a bull rush on this offensive tackle who had not really been able to handle him most of the day, and Andy Dalton is going to go down. I loved this play because it continues to show Takk McKinley's raw power being condensed and used the proper way. And we can see it from this angle here with Takk McKinley playing that wide 6 or 7 look there. He is so far out there in the middle of nowhere. And number 68 just really does not have the right stance or leverage against McKinley. McKinley comes in and absolutely blows him up and collapses the pocket very quickly. I will state also on top of this is that Vic Beasley and Jack Crawford do an amazing job getting pressure from the opposite side. Even though it doesn't affect the play in a grand sense, it still pushes the pocket to where it is collapsing. So Takk McKinley getting some pressure here and getting this sack. I'll run it for you one more time. But McKinley on the right-hand side of the screen, just going to get a bull rush here, number 68, who just didn't have a proper stance, did not have the right footing. McKinley gets the sack. And I want to clarify, now that we go on to this next piece of film, that the 42 defense, or 4-2-5, is just an extension of the 43. If you were doing the same thing for a 3-4 to go into nickel, you would be playing a 3-3-5. So I just wanted to clarify that very quickly, because a nickel look for, and there's a base nickel look, which looks a little bit differently, and then there's a more complicated nickel look, which is more zone oriented, and so on and so forth. But anyway, 4-2-5 is just a nickel defense, and when the Falcons play a 4-2-5, and they've done it before, this isn't something new, but it's definitely something that they're going to have to play more of because of the injuries that they have. They had to put the two best linebackers out there. They can't have a third linebacker that's not ready. In this particular look right here, it's a 4-3. So we've got a, I would call this a base 4-3 because you see Brooks Reed is in there. What looks to be McLean, Sanat, and I don't know who's down here at the bottom. No, it's Grady Jarrett. Never mind. So it's Brooks Reed, Grady Jarrett, Sanat, and McLean. All on the line here. And I don't have any problem with this look, but the whole point of this piece here is to show Duke Riley's progression, because Duke Riley, his play up to this particular point has been in question. People have said, can he be on this team? Because in Dan Quinn's 43 looks, we discuss how it's very important for those Sam and Will linebackers. And all the linebackers on Dan Quinn's team are slightly undersized for their positions, but it's very important that those Sam and Will linebackers play extremely rangy, and for Duke Riley to be able to go from his spot right in the middle of the field here and be able to snuff out this running back for a 3-yard loss. Watch him just avoid all pressure there, come out and just lay this beautiful hit. Beautiful hit. There is nothing wrong with this hit. Led with the shoulder, right in the hit box, not up top. Well tackled. I thought that was a great tackle. Now we look at it from this angle here. You're going to get a little bit of a better look of where Duke is calling guys to push over. He pushes Olakun over. But remember that in a 4-2-5, this is a 4-3 look, but remember, they're kind of playing a nickel kind of look. In a 4-2-5, you are designating 3 different parts of the field to 3 different field generals. The free safety commanding 2 corners, the strong safety commanding a corner, and the linebackers in the middle will be commanding where the line and linebackers need to go. That middle linebacker, that Mike linebacker, is going to be pushing guys over. In this particular situation, Duke Riley is the Mike linebacker, so he is going to command Olakun. What Devondre Campbell is doing on the left-hand side means nothing to Duke Riley, because Devondre Campbell and the other corner over there are communicating. A 4-2-5, and that's just the nickel in a 4-3. A 4-2-5 commands 3 different parts of the field, 3 different field generals telling people what to do and where to go. And they only command their sides of the field. So the left-hand side is 2 or 3 guys. They're only going to talk amongst themselves how they're going to do things. The line and the linebackers, they're going to stand there and they're going to talk over what they need to do. And then the free safety in 2 corners, or in this particular situation, the free safety is already backed up, told his corners what he wants, and has gone. This is a 4-3 base look, but they're still using that same principle of commanding 3 different parts of the field and telling people where to go. Just wanted to clarify that. I know this is the longest part of the video, but again, clarifying. Even in the base, they're acting like they're in a 4-2-5, where they're commanding 3 different parts of the field to tell people where they need to go. Super important, because you see Duke Riley and Olakun communicate this. Olakun takes the middle over here, and Duke Riley comes out and lays this hit down. That is super important. Again, rewinding it again, you're going to see Duke Riley start commanding people over. He pushes Olakun. You already see our strong safety has moved back. KZ is actually on the left-hand side communicating with Devondre Campbell. And Duke Riley pushes Olakun over. Olakun's going to follow this tight end up the middle of the field. And then Duke Riley's going to go out and immediately hit this flat look. And it's perfectly executed. Perfectly executed, as perfect as you can make it. Nothing was open over the middle of the field. Pressure wasn't going to get there, and that is only in part because McLean and Brooks Reed just really aren't top shelf guys on this team. And you can tell Brooks Reed has fallen off a cliff. But able to get this tackle, well executed. Now, I want to end this video because it's already going to be 20-something minutes long, but I want to end this video with 2 plays from Isaiah Oliver, and it's going to be this look only. It's not going to be the this is just the overhead look. It's not going to be the actual look from behind. But Isaiah Oliver down here on Erickson down at the bottom, and this is the last 2 plays. They're both Isaiah Oliver instances. And this is how you run a 4-2-5 where you have man-to-man on everyone and it works. You know? This was the correct call. The next call is going to be the wrong call. But on this particular play, Isaiah Oliver down at the bottom of your screen, this is just Isaiah Oliver and the talent level that he has. Points out his guy, boxes out his guy. There's no pass interference there. Again, marks out his dude. He's going to simple steps, flips the hips, walks his man into the end zone. Dalton's going to fling this ball. Ball is going to be in a tight area. Ref is right there to watch this play. And even though Isaiah Oliver doesn't get his head around to see the play at hand, the wide receiver is jumping up in the air to catch this. And the reaction is during the attempt to catch the ball. So Isaiah Oliver will actually flip those hips and see the ball get into the hands of the wide receiver and knock the ball out of his hands. It was well played by Isaiah Oliver. So now we look at this play, the next play, the touchdown pass. Andy Dalton to A.J. Green. And you are putting a rookie corner against one of the top wide receivers in the league. You're asking him to play underneath zone on one of the best wide receivers in the game and allowing Brian Poole, the strong safety, who is not actually a strong safety. He's a nickel corner. You're asking him to play the over-the-top portion of this zone. And that's where things go awry. Because what you're doing is you are putting guys in dangerous places. Now that I stopped, perfect freeze frame. You guys are putting guys in dangerous places to get beat. And this is the same call on both sides. One dude pinches in, follow up the middle of the field, zone top, zone out on the outside. The zone here with what I believe to be Olakun, Isaiah Oliver, and Brian Poole is too condensed. And Isaiah Oliver notices this, and Poole notices where the ball is going, but they're both there just way too late to react to this ball. I don't care how long your arms are. You're not going to be able to react to this. And this is where the defense should have been playing man-to-man. It worked the first time. Why would you not play man-to-man the second time? Especially with A.J. Green. You need to be physical with this guy. You've already got the underneath with Olakun. And Isaiah Oliver should be playing man-to-man against A.J. Green going into the end zone. That's the correct call with any NFL team, is to play man-to-man on the best wide receiver, and then your second and third and fourth wide receivers, you're allowed to play a little bit of zone because you know they're going towards A.J. Green for this pass. So putting two guys that I don't necessarily think should have been in this position is just, I would say, is a bad call by the defensive coordinator and the bad call by the coach, the head coach. Putting your guys in this particular type of position when just the play before you were playing man-to-man is absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable.